Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein is
The federal RICO I'm about to drop on Chris and Kim is about to be crazy. I'm talking about, I'm on the news every day like, yeah.
Chris straight up me and Kendall. She only cares about money.
If anybody know Kim and cool with Kim, they need to tell her now. The rain is coming, the feds is coming. The feds is coming, it's nothing I can do.
For almost 2 decades, Ray J said nothing. Not a denial, not a confession, just silence. The same man forever tied to the tape that ignited the Kardashian empire stood in the shadows, watching as Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner transformed controversy into a billion-dollar dynasty, built, he now claims, on a version of events that was never true. But that silence, it's over. Ray J is no longer playing along, and what he's saying now threatens to crack the entire narrative wide open. According to him, the story the world was sold, the origin, the rise, the carefully crafted image, wasn't just polished, it was manufactured. He claims Kim and Kris didn't just build an empire, they engineered it, and have been maintaining it through deception ever since. And the timing couldn't be more explosive, because right now the Kardashian name is already surrounded by growing controversy. Whispers, unverified but impossible to ignore, suggest something even darker, allegations that Kris and Kim may have leveraged Kylie Jenner in connections tied to Jeffrey Epstein's world. At the same time, Ray J's lawsuit accusing them of fraud has taken a sharper turn. He's added a chilling claim, one that stopped people mid-scroll. He insists that what he knows about Kim and Kris goes beyond scandal, beyond headlines, even beyond figures like Sean Diddy Combs. So now, everything is on the table. The tape, the lawsuit, the Epstein whispers, and a question that refuses to die. If the foundation of their empire was built on a lie, then what else has been buried beneath it all this time?
We definitely received substantial evidence that he was involved in training.
That Kim Kardashian is a prostitute, and I'm not going to edit this opinion. Kim Kardashian is a prostitute. Her mother is a...
The Kardashians are currently under fire after a viral video, which some claim to be AI, started making the rounds online, accusing Kim and Kris Jenner of using Kylie to get ahead.
Straight up me and Kendall. She only cares about money and used all of us sisters for it. She'd take us to parties when we were super young, and rich people would pay her a good amount.
In that video, Kylie Jenner appears to make a statement that hits like a shockwave, claiming that Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian chose profit over protection, exposing her to environments no child should ever see. She describes being taken to elite gatherings at an age when most kids are still figuring out who they are, rooms where wealth meant access, and access meant something far more unsettling. And then comes the line that made the internet freeze. She says she was still very young the first time she encountered Jeffrey Epstein. Within hours, the internet erupted, fingers pointed, theories spiraled, and suddenly, Kris Jenner's name started appearing in conversations people once avoided. Because when you look back at old footage of Kylie and Kendall Jenner as teenagers, how they were styled, photographed, and presented, it all begins to feel different. Less like childhood, more like preparation. But just when it seems like this story couldn't get any more disturbing, another layer crashes into it. Because while all of this was unfolding, Ray J was quietly pulling the curtain back on a completely separate scandal, one that may be more connected than anyone expected. Because behind the scenes, something major was already in motion. Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner were called to testify under oath in a legal battle that could rewrite the very origin story of their empire. And according to Ray J, what they said in that room wasn't the truth. He claims he personally sat down with Kim, Kris, and executives from Vivid Entertainment, the company that released the infamous tape, and discussed a deal that everyone in that room understood. For years, Vivid maintained a clean narrative. The tape came from an unknown third party. That version of events painted Kim as the victim, caught in the fallout of a jealous ex who allegedly leaked something deeply personal without consent. It was a story the public accepted because it felt believable. But Ray J says that version was carefully constructed. His account flips everything. He claims both he and Kim were paid $400,000 each for not one, but 3 tapes. 2 filmed in Cabo, 1 in Santa Barbara. And according to him, that third tape didn't just happen, it was orchestrated. He alleges Kris Jenner herself pushed for it, even giving direction on how explicit it should be. Now Ray J insists this isn't about revenge or headlines. He says it's about his children, his son and daughter, who will grow up in a world where their father is defined by a story he claims isn't real. He doesn't want them carrying that weight. He doesn't want them believing a narrative he says was manufactured. But under oath, Kim and Kris stood firm. They denied everything. No involvement, no orchestration, no deal. They said the story the world knows is the truth, and that Ray J is the one rewriting history. Then another voice enters the picture, Paris Hilton. She revealed that Kris Jenner had once taken inspiration from her own scandal. According to Paris, her ex pushed her into making a tape that ultimately boosted her fame. And it worked. The controversy amplified her visibility and helped drive massive attention to her reality show, The Simple Life. And here's where the timeline starts to feel almost too precise. Not long after that surge in fame, Kim Kardashian entered Paris Hilton's world, working as her stylist, watching everything up close. Then, just a few years later, Kim's own tape surfaced. And almost immediately after the attention exploded, so did the Kardashian machine, launching their reality empire in a way that looked eerily familiar.
In 1 hour, I'm having them send everything I got. We going through receipts tonight, Chris. We going through receipts tonight, Kim. Everything that I got, I'm gonna let them.
And this is where the two stories collide, where Kylie Jenner's claims and Ray J's accusations stop feeling like separate controversies and start forming something much bigger, something people have been quietly piecing together for years. Because at the center of it all stands Kim Kardashian, the face of the empire, now pulled directly into the storm. Some sources go further, suggesting she wasn't just part of the system, but may have helped sustain it. Allegations swirl that she subtly nudged her younger sisters toward powerful, older men, relationships tied to circles most people don't fully understand. And then there's Kris Jenner. To the world, she's the ultimate strategist, the momager who turned a family into a global machine worth billions. A mastermind, a visionary. But there's another label that has followed her for years, one that doesn't show up in press releases or polished interviews. It lives in whispers, in comment sections, in tabloid headlines people pretend not to read. Pimp Mama Kris. A name that carries a very different implication, one that resurfaces every time questions are raised about how far the family was willing to go and who paid the price for it. Take Kylie. She has described her teenage years not as glamorous, but as overwhelming, even frightening. Not freedom, but exposure. Being watched constantly, followed relentlessly, surrounded by adults long before she had the chance to grow into one. A childhood that didn't feel like a childhood at all. And instead of pulling her back from that chaos, the machine seemed to push her deeper into it. Then came the chapter no one has been able to erase. Her relationship with Tyga. When it became public, the numbers alone made people pause. He was 25, she was just 17. And even years later, that detail still lingers. People questioned it. They criticized it. They dissected it from every angle. And yet, somehow, life moved on as if nothing had happened. To many watching from the outside, it felt like something more unsettling was at play. Two girls growing up in front of millions, every awkward phase, every vulnerable moment, every step into adulthood broadcast in real time. What should have been private became spectacle. What should have been protected became content. And while some voices called it out, others stayed silent. The outrage faded. The headlines disappeared. The empire kept growing. And that's the part that keeps resurfacing, the uncomfortable question beneath all of it. Not just what happened, but how it was allowed to happen. Because in the end, the narrative didn't collapse. It didn't slow down. It succeeded. The machine moved forward untouched. And for some, that's the most unsettling twist of all, that everything played out in plain sight, and still, somehow, nothing stopped it.
Your image took a hit. People calling you a putting you in the same breath as R. Kelly.
I'm always ahead of the curve. So, you know, like, I'm just always ahead of the curve. So even before, like
you knew she was going to be hot at 18.
No, I knew she had a lot of potential.
According to Tyga's former partner, Blac Chyna, Kris Jenner allowed, even allegedly encouraged Tyga to groom Kylie. She says Kris orchestrated the relationship, seeing it as a way to increase the family's cultural influence. Tyga himself later confirmed the strategy. In an interview, he said Kris wanted Kylie to date a black rapper because she believed it would boost the family's status among black viewers. A calculated move executed with her daughter as the currency.
Like, before I got with her, like, people, like, in the urban world wasn't, like, talking about her, like I got with Kylie, like, she's super glowed up. That was already, like, kind of a hit on my image, but...
Jesus Christ.
But for me, I was just like, you know, I'm gonna just do it, and we gonna rock, and we gonna, like, make the best out of it. You know, like, I was with a black girl before that, you feel me? So to the world, it looked like, okay, I left her, had a baby with her, I left her, and then I got with this young woman.
Now, when the criticism came, Khloe Kardashian defended the relationship. She said Kylie was not a normal 17-year-old. The implication was clear. Kylie was mature enough, savvy enough, experienced enough to know what she was doing. Amber Rose publicly condemned the relationship. She called it gross and said Tyga should be ashamed for dating Kylie.
Your close friend right now.
Yes.
Tyga and Kylie. What do you think about that? Do you think Kylie's too young for him?
She's a baby. She needs to go to bed at 7 o'clock and relax. Yeah.
Amber Rose talking a lot of trash about Kylie Jenner. So Amber Rose is good friends with Blac Chyna, who's Tyga's baby mama. So Amber Rose came out and said
he should be ashamed of himself. That's how I feel, for sure. He has a beautiful woman and a baby, and left that for a 16-year-old that just turned 17. Like,
the response from the Kardashian camp was swift. A heated exchange erupted on social media. The family closed ranks, and the criticism was buried. But Kris Jenner has never addressed these allegations directly. The family has always presented Kylie's relationship with Tyga as a normal teenage romance. But the questions remain. Was Kylie Jenner a child who fell for an older man? Or was she a pawn in a strategy designed by her own mother? And how many other relationships, decisions, and sacrifices have been made in the name of building an empire?
You followed a lot of your relationship with Tyga on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yes.
How is your relationship with him today?
We're not friends, but we are okay. If I see him out or if I run into him anywhere, I always wish him well. I have no...
The Kardashian-Jenner empire didn't rise by accident. It followed a blueprint. Control the narrative. Control the image. Control what the world believes is real. For nearly 20 years, Kris Jenner has stood at the center of that machine, directing every move, shaping every headline, transforming 6 children into a billion-dollar phenomenon. But behind the flawless photos, behind the red carpets and curated perfection, there's always been something else. Questions that never quite go away. Questions about the decisions made behind closed doors. About the relationships that seem too strategic. About what it really costs to build something this powerful. Because the deeper you look, the more complicated it becomes. Over the years, the family's orbit has overlapped with names that carry their own shadows. Jeffrey Epstein, Sean Diddy Combs, Corey Gamble, figures tied, fairly or unfairly, to rumors of hidden dealings, quiet power plays, and disturbing allegations. And while none of these connections alone tell the full story, together they create a pattern people can't ignore. Even voices from inside the family have added fuel to the fire. Caitlyn Jenner, who spent years behind the scenes, has hinted that Kris may have played a far more aggressive role than the public realizes, suggesting situations where control blurred into something more calculated. According to insiders, there were moments where opportunities didn't just happen, they were arranged. Encounters between Kim Kardashian and powerful figures that raised uncomfortable questions about where ambition ends and exploitation begins. And then there's Kylie Jenner. Her relationship with Tyga became one of the most visible and controversial examples. 17 and 25. A gap that sparked outrage, headlines, and endless debate. Yet within the family, it was defended, normalized, allowed to exist in plain sight. And for many watching, that moment didn't feel isolated. It felt like part of a larger pattern that was never fully explained. If even a fraction of these allegations hold weight, the image shifts dramatically. What once looked like a success story begins to feel like something far more complicated. A world where fame comes with a hidden price, where personal boundaries blur, where relationships can start to look less like connections and more like transactions. A world where daughters aren't just family, but part of the brand. Kris Jenner has always said she would do anything for her children. It's a statement that once sounded protective, almost heroic. But now it lands differently. Because what if anything meant pushing them into a spotlight they couldn't escape? What if it meant sacrificing pieces of their childhood, their privacy, even their ability to choose who they become? There's no denying the outcome. The Kardashian-Jenner name became global. The strategy worked. The empire stands. But the questions remain, and they're louder than ever. Was Kris Jenner a fiercely protective mother navigating an unforgiving industry? Or a master strategist who saw opportunity in every relationship, every headline, every risk? And maybe the most uncomfortable question of all isn't just about them, it's about us. What does it say about the world we've created, where this kind of success is not only possible, but celebrated?